Okay. Hopefully you made it past the 30 seconds of me getting everything started, but I think people on YouTube understand what a live video is like by now. So, check 1 2. I think we're live and audible. So, let's go over about 10 minutes of just live fodder for my channel here that I always think about doing and never do. So, we had 10 minutes before work today, and I said, you know what? Let's get on there and go live, right? And it's kind of difficult when, the reason I didn't go live, for example, on Sunday when I had the whole day to do it, I just kept thinking about, well, what do I want to talk about? What about this subject? No. What about, maybe I'll talk about that. Oh, it's kind of, and in the end, I just went back and forth and procrastinated and then did nothing. So today, I'm just going to jump into a topic the first thing that was on the top of my mind, and here it is. And it's kind of like where you should start if you know nothing about music. You have practiced guitar. This would be geared for someone who's learned a lot of songs on guitar, can play all your chords. Sorry, everybody, just going over to get a kind of a little bit more listenable tone for online. Say you learned a lot of songs and you still don't know anything about music. So a great place to start is with the fact that there are simply only 12 notes that all that stuff is made out of. Or let's just say 12 notes with two big implications. That everything that you hear on the radio, like almost all of your favorite tunes, especially all the simple acoustic tunes you can learn out there, and all the standard barroom classics, are mostly all the major scale. But actually, let me just take a few steps back. Sorry, I got too far there. They're all made up of 12 notes, just 12 notes, the same 12 notes that there are on the fretboard. Let's go over them. A sharp, B flat, B, C sharp, D flat, D sharp, E flat, E, F sharp, G flat, G sharp, A flat, A. So, all those notes, 12 notes, are all there are. And the second implication is that, that was it, that there's only 12 notes. So the first implication was that it's like almost every song you hear is made up of these 12 notes. Every song you hear in the Western system is made up of these 12 notes. Only using 7 of them at a time. But at the end of the day, there's only 12 to be under your fingertips. So pretty cool. There's just different octaves. That's why there's all these, you might say, well, what about, a very beginner right there could say, well, what about this? Sounded like a lot more than 12 notes there. But the truth is, they repeat in octaves. An octave is the same exact note. It just sounds higher. Why does it sound higher? Let's hear it. Same note, sounds higher. For some of you, this will be so redundantly basic, and you already know this, so you probably clicked off this video by now. But if you're a beginner, a total know-nothing, it's mathematical. The wavelength or the frequency is doubled. And if you were, mapping that out with numbers, the numbers have mathematically doubled, like 440 becomes 880 or something like that. So there's a reason, and because it's mathematically similar, it's in a double, and the sound is similar, we equate that to the exact same repeating set of notes, because all the notes above will do the same thing as notes 12 below. So basically what it means is, between these frequencies, the doubling of frequencies, we've divided, in Western music, the notes up into 12 bits. Why 12 bits is the next question. Why not 24? I mean, you've heard that there is a 24-note system pretty commonly in use. There could even be, I think, a 53-note video. There's a great YouTube video on this I just watched, and you can find it too, about why there's 12 notes. I'm going to go a little more basic, but probably ramble on here just as long. That you can have a 53-note system, you could have a 100-note system, you could have a 100,000-note system. Let's hear it. Let's hear a complete all million notes between an octave here, and you can hear it just like this on a guitar with a slide. Well, for that, I'm going to need some distortion, right? With no division, there's all the million notes. Now let's say you wanted to make a million note scale. Here's what it would sound like. Here's note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if I landed on note 100 and then I played note 110, would you know the difference? A little bit, right? So there's not so much definition the more you pack in note divisions in between the octave. And even at 24 notes, let's split this fret in half here. We have this here, we have this here. So there's a note right here. You can hear that there is a distinguishable note between these two notes. I was trying to sound all Indian there, but that's where a 24-note system, I understand, exists in parts of the Eastern world. I believe India is big on a 24-note system. And that's probably about the extent of intervals our brain is going to pick up after that. If you try to divide it more, let's get 4 notes in between a note. The music becomes too complex, not as distinguishable, wavers around. There's probably some emotional depth to more notes. However, you can clearly understand why you're dealing with 12 notes. It's pretty simple. It creates a lot of distinguishable tones from one another. And it still creates a whole bunch of emotional impact. We have the 7 modes of emotion. We have definitely major and minor, and the ability to create hundreds of different scale patterns, and most notably harmonic minor and melodic minor for some deep sounding, emotional, inspiring choices of notes, right with a 12-note system. And It's easy enough for most people to figure out. However, it's still just enough, just complex enough to keep a lot of people out of the music theory loop and always kind of, treading water on their musical journey. So, if you want to step into that realm, here's a great beginner understanding of why the heck there's even 12 notes. Well, there's a good reason right there. It creates just the right amount of diversity to keep it really definable. All the emotions are clearly, like modes are clearly, Dorian has its own sound and Lydian has its own sound. To an untrained ear, they can sound somewhat undistinguishable in the very beginning until you go, oh, wow, that's that sound. Oh, yeah, hey, that's, that such and such made that song and it sounds in that kind of mode. Wow, okay, then you start really being able to hear the definity or defineness. I don't know, I can't think of the word. So I think I'm getting into my point here. Let's mark that out then on the graph paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is like the first thing you want to write down on graph paper to kind of get the sequence that you're dealing with and how it works, how a key forms from this. And I guess we'll talk about that next, but maybe we're going to do that in our next video. So let's title this video Y12, because that's basically what I just talked about in about 10 minutes of your time. And so as not to go on 40 minutes and be late for work just because I went live, let's make the next lesson this next line, which will be why and how of keys. Helps if I look at the screen and write within my boundaries there. Can't even read my writing. Why and how of keys. Hope this wasn't too bad of a waste of your 12 minutes. And have a great day out there. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure you got to go to work and work hard. I'm going to my construction home improvement job where I got to go help build a deck. The big work is done. Digging the holes. Dug 4 huge holes yesterday, 4 feet into the ground. And yeah, a lot of hard work that I'd rather spend time teaching people how to play guitar. So if you thought this lesson was useful, think about checking out my Patreon or throwing me a donation or whatever you want to do. But yeah, like and subscribe. That'll be the best thing. Don't worry about anything else. Have a great day out there, and we'll see you soon here on. And thank you to all my new subscribers too. I see that in the last few days I've picked up quite a few, and I'm really just amazed by that. Considering how I've, you could even say like in the last month or two, I've just abandoned the channel. There's nothing going on, and so I really appreciate that everybody's sticking around and waiting for something new to come out. Leave a comment below and inspire me on some new video to talk about. Okay, or any questions you had on this video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.